One smart home service provider in the U.S. Protection is just a phone call away. Call 800-953-6693. That's 800-953-6693. Monthly service agreement required for free installation.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There is a tremendous price war in the term life industry. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past few years. For example, a man aged 45, non-smoker, can get $1 million of coverage for $75 per month, level rate for 10 years. Or a man aged 50, non-smoker, can obtain $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of $110, level rate for 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rate for 20 years. If you're a smoker, we have great rates available for you as well. At Term Busters, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. If you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call today for a quote. 1-800-908-7636. You're probably paying more than you should. Call 1-800-908-7636. Remember, 1-800-908-7636. Sample rate quotes based on preferred non-smoker rate class. Exam required to qualify.
Attention all patriots. This is Jason Hansen, former CIA officer and security expert. I have an urgent message for anyone who's concerned about their financial future. In a world filled with economic uncertainty and geopolitical turmoil, it's never been more important to have a rock-solid plan for protecting your wealth. That's why I'm inviting you to a special financial briefing this Thursday. During this exclusive summit, you'll get proven top strategies for safeguarding your hard-earned assets and securing your financial independence. We'll cover everything from diversifying your portfolio to creating a fail-safe emergency fund. Don't leave your future to chance. Call my friends at Advantage Gold today at 800-741-GOLD to register at no cost whatsoever. In today's uncertain times, it's critical to have a solid plan in place to protect your finances and secure your future. Call 800-741-GOLD now to register for this 100% free summit. That's 800-741-GOLD.
Paid for by Advantage Gold. Performance may vary. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Always consult your financial and tax professional.
Central Texas home for sports. It's Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports. Catch all your in-depth sports analysis with the best. The hottest sports show in the evening is Centex Primetime, hosted by Jalen Gillis.
Act like y'all.
Weekdays 5 to 7. This is the Central Texas #1 leader in sports. Centex Sports Network.
That's right, sports fans. We can talk about sports.
And Infinity Sports. Central Texas home for sports. It's Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports. KWBT-FM, HD2 Waco, Temple, Killeen, Fort Cavazos. The new leader in sports in Central Texas is Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports.
Holy Jesus. What is that?
It's time to get in the game.
Do you know what time it is?
Tune in to Primetime Sports Talk with Jalen Gillis.
To me, you are nothing.
Your go-to source for breaking sports news in Central Texas and exclusive Dallas Cowboys coverage.
Start it up, let's go.
Catch us Monday through Thursday from 5 to 7 p.m. on the Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back into Centex Prime Time. I am your host, Jalen Gillis, as we take you through the prime time topics in sports, not only here in Central Texas, but all around the nation. Hope everybody is having a wonderful Monday. A lot of us got back to our regular scheduled programs, back to work, back to start another week. But we got some great football games over the weekend, everybody. Want to thank everybody that's been watching with us throughout these shows. I really do appreciate you guys. Couldn't do it without you. If you want to be able to watch this 5 to 7 weekdays, go over to YouTube, Centex Sports Network on YouTube, or Centex Sports TV on YouTube, and you can check us out there. Weekdays, 5 to 7 p.m. You'll be able to catch us on there. If you want to be able to listen to this content, download the app Centex Sports One centexsports1.com you can go to centexsports1.com, or you can download the app Centex Sports 1, and you can go on there and you'll be able to listen to this, like I said, weekdays 5 to 7, or you can watch if you download the app as well if you don't want to go over to YouTube. Folks, we had a very, very, very interesting weekend of football this past weekend. A lot of up and down games from the NFL to college football. We saw Alabama fall to Vanderbilt for the first time in over 30 plus years. We'll get a chance to talk about that a little bit later. We'll have the fellas jump on here with me a little bit later in the show. And we'll talk about those games. We'll talk about that Alabama game. We saw Tennessee get upset this weekend against Arkansas. We saw Miami with the comeback of the year is what it seems like so far in college football, as Cal had them against the ropes for pretty much the entire game. And Miami was able to battle back, and Cam Ward took his Heisman candidacy to another level after being able to pull off winning that game. Shout out Cam Ward, shout out to Miami for being able to figure that one out. Also, had some crazy games in the NFL as well. We'll end it out tonight with New Orleans versus Kansas City. Really good game I'm expecting to see tonight on Monday Night Football. They got rid of the doubleheaders, at least for tonight. They had it a few weekends in a row, or a few Mondays in a row, is what it seems like. But just one game tonight, so you don't have to flip your channels back and forth like we've been doing the last few weeks, folks. New Orleans versus Kansas City, that game's tonight, and we'll break that down as we get later into the show. In the NFL side, we saw a lot of back and forth games. It started on that Thursday. Now, I had Wayne Walker in studio with me on Thursday, and had Cedric Agerhart, the play-by-play man for La Vega Football, in here with me on Thursday, and we were talking about this game. We went back and forth, so I think we all picked Tampa Bay except for one person, and I know Ced is going to have something to say about that one. He picked the Falcons, and Kirk Cousins had a great game, but that game kind of set the precedent for the weekend, as that was an overtime game. It came down to the last minute, literally in the game. But that like I said, kind of set up how the rest of this week was going to go, and then we get the Baltimore and Cincinnati overtime thriller that we got to see yesterday. Y'all see I got my Texans hat on today. Texans moved to 4-1 as they defeated the Buffalo Bills, as I said they would. I didn't get all my picks right this weekend. I'll go through some of my picks that I had for this last weekend. Didn't get all of them right, but I did have a pretty decent weekend as far as my picks and predictions that I made. Broncos showed up in a huge way, getting a win over the Raiders. That offense stopped looking so anemic like it's been the last few weeks. The Giants got a win over the Seahawks last week. Kyrell talked about the Seahawks. He said they were pretenders, and I definitely am going to have to agree with him on that one. The Seahawks were definitely pretenders, as it turned out to be, and the Seahawks drop a game to the New York Giants. Giants get back in the win column. NFC East starting to look a little bit better than what it's been looking like. Green Bay was able to pull out a win. I knew this Green Bay team would start turning it around once they got Jordan Love back in the fold. They got the Rams, and the Rams are one of the teams I picked that could have been a sneaky playoff team before the season starts. It looks like that dream's about over with. Probably have to give up on the Rams. Like I said, Denver got a big win. Chicago, Caleb Williams had a good game. Finally starting to see some of this promise from the number one pick of why he was picked number one. Now, it was against the Carolina Panthers, but that's the game everybody's got to start. Everybody's supposed to have a good game against the Panthers, and he did what he was supposed to do. So I'm not going to penalize him because it was the Panthers. Caleb Williams did what he's supposed to do. But so like I said, a lot of good different games that we got to see. But first game that we have to dive into is obviously the game from last night, late last night. If you were on the East Coast, man, I mean that was a super late game for those people that had to stay up in Pittsburgh to have to watch that one after the lightning delays, because it ended around 12 o'clock over here. So I know that was a late on that East Coast for those guys. I had to get up in the morning and try to watch that. Before we start breaking down the game, I got PJ Gaither in here with me. We're going to talk about some of these games. Like I said, we're going to have some more of the fellas on as we go throughout the show today. PJ, what's going on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, man, I'm doing good. I'm doing good today.
Yep. So like I said, a lot of good games this weekend. We got to start with the game from Sunday night that ended, honestly, just a few hours ago, depending on how you look at it. Late game last night. After the lightning delays, Dallas Cowboys win over the Pittsburgh Steelers, the most two historic franchises and storied franchises in the NFL, in the Dallas Cowboys and the Steelers. Sorry, Patriots fans. Well, I'm not that sorry. You guys had your run, but it was only for about 20 years. Cowboys and Steelers have had success over 50, 60 years. So the two most historic franchises in the NFL faced off on Sunday Night Football. Game didn't start till about 8:45 because of weather delays, so it just built the anticipation up even more. And the game lived up to the hype. A game that came all the way down to the last final minute of the game, where Dak Prescott was able to put on a game-winning drive and get down the field, and the Cowboys won. They got this win today, last night, 20-17. It was a struggle back and forth between these two teams. Honestly, really ugly offense from both teams. Both teams, really ugly offense. Like I said, it was some bad weather outside. It was a few different things. Maybe it was a little late. Whatever the reason was, bad offense on both sides. But the Cowboys come out with the win. Now, I've heard a lot of different opinions on this game so far today. Some people saying Dak Prescott proved a lot going out there with that last-minute drive and winning the game. Some people didn't feel like that because he did play bad. Honestly, he played bad for the majority of the game. But I will give Dak Prescott credit because he didn't have to go out there and win that game, but he did. He had a great last-minute drive or last few-minute drive to get his team down the field. Wasn't amazing. Didn't do anything too crazy, but they won. And that's more important than anything else, especially when you're trying to get back into the win column like the Cowboys are, as they're 3-0 on the road. We know I don't know why, for the last few years they've been bad at home. Dropped 2 games at home, but they're 3-0 on the road, and this was a huge win, beating the Pittsburgh team. That's good. This is a good Pittsburgh team, and they were 3-1 coming into this game. They were the underdog in this one, -2.5. I did take the points on Dallas in this game on my weekend picks. I took Dallas +2.5 because I felt like if Pittsburgh did win, it was going to be a narrow victory, especially when I seen that Pittsburgh had some linemen missing, some offensive linemen missing. Justin Fields, he's played better, but he's still Justin Fields, and he showed that last night as well. As go through some of the stats in this game, Dak Prescott, 352 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, 70 QBR. He went 29 for 42. Rico Dowdell, and this is the biggest story in the game to me for the Cowboys side. Rico Dowdell, 20 carries, 87 yards. Now, that's not a crazy great game, but the Cowboys have had no running game. Honestly, since about halfway through last season, they haven't had any running game. So for them to be able to come in and get this win, and Rico Dowdell to be able to get the yards that he got, getting those 87 yards, that was big for this team. And it helped them a long way. They had 109 rushing yards, something they haven't been able to do so far this entire season. CeeDee Lamb, 5 catches, 62 yards. Jalen Tolbert, 7 catches, 87 yards, and the game-winning touchdown after he was hurt by a pass from Dak Prescott on the play right before. Was able to come back in last play of the game and got that game-winning touchdown on the rub route. And like I said, good last drive for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, obviously, my opinion hasn't really changed on the Cowboys after getting this win because I didn't think the Steelers were just world beaters, and I knew this offense was going to be terrible. And then, 2, Dallas offense really still didn't look good. Now, it is impressive that they got 300-plus yards, 400 yards I think they had of offense on this Steelers defense. That's impressive. But what I was impressed with the most by the Cowboys was their defense. They were able to stop the run. Now, I'm not a fan of Najee Harris. For those of you that watch the show, I'm not a fan of Najee Harris, and y'all know that. I haven't been a fan of his since he's been in the league. I wasn't a fan of his at Alabama, even though he was, highly touted coming out of high school and all that. It just feels like he was always so slow when he got the ball. Last night, he looked the exact same. He just looked so slow. I don't know what the deal is with Najee Harris, and I've unfortunately picked him on my fantasy teams a couple years. Didn't pick him this year, but I've had him in the past. Seems like he gets the least amount of yardage. Every carry is going to be 3 yards is what it seems like when Najee Harris has the ball. But with the way that the Cowboys have been getting gashed in the run game, definitely their front seven did a great job of being able to contain this run game of the Steelers, holding them to only 92 yards rushing. Steelers had no offense going at all. The Cowboys' offense didn't look good, but the Steelers' offense looked even worse. Couldn't get anything going. Their leading receiver was Najee Harris, and that was just because he had a 20-yard run on one of those catches. George Pickens, 3 catches for 26 yards. Van Jefferson, 3 catches for 26 yards. Pat Freiermuth, 3 catches for 22 yards. So their offense couldn't get anything going. Both defenses played good in this game. I think both teams' defense was just on the field too much because the offenses couldn't get anything going. So Cowboys able to get a win. They get back over 500, 3-2 so far on the season after picking up a big win in Pittsburgh last night. PJ, I'll go to you first, man. What do you think about this game last night? Cowboys getting the win over the Steelers.
I see two organizations, honestly, that's in the same predicament right now. I feel like both organizations, they're really trying to figure out what they're going to do for the future. You know what I mean? You kind of see that they're both, in a way, I feel like the Steelers took more of a chance on getting guys in the free agency than what the Cowboys did, of course, but you can tell that both teams are really just trying to figure it out so far this season. And I've heard a little bit of people talk about how even if the Steelers had Russell Wilson, then they probably would have won that game. But I feel like even with Russell Wilson, the game wouldn't have really been any different. He probably would have gave you a better chance of winning the game, but it wouldn't have really been no different, honestly, the outcome. To be honest, man, the Steelers really are not a good team, and the Cowboys aren't really a good team as well. Both teams are really bad. The Steelers have a really good defense, but, you look at offense, they got a bunch of guys who are really, they got a bunch of guys with big names who haven't really done anything. Look at George Pickens. Look at, he's showing flashes, but he hasn't really done anything in the league. Yeah. Najee Harris was showing flashes at first, but he hasn't done anything ever since that one little good year that he had a few years ago. And Justin Fields is still trying to, find his way in this league. So it's just a bunch of guys. They got names. They got names. They got guys who are known from college, and still trying to really figure it out in the league. And it's just not going, it's just not happening for them. With the Cowboys right now, like our defense played really good yesterday, but at the same time, we were playing against an offense that wasn't good. You know what I mean? Their offense just wasn't good at all. So I wasn't really surprised that the defense looked good last night. Even with we're decimated right now with injuries. Like, it is bad right now, but the defense still, they showed up last night. That was a game that we really didn't have to win. We really didn't have to win that game. So for him to, have the last drive and score like that for us in the last few seconds of the game, and Jalen, shout out to him too. That was huge for the team. That was huge for the morale of the team. I still don't really, like you said, my opinion on this team has not changed. Like, to me, they still not really that worthy of being talked about consistently. I get it, they're the Cowboys, so everybody's going to talk about them, you know what I mean, because they're American team. But in reality, they're terrible, man, this year. Nothing good is going on for this team this year. Our offense is terrible. We have no running game. We had a running game yesterday, but we really don't have any running game. Outside of CD, we have no passing game. And it's a struggle right now, man. We're just trying to figure it out.
That's facts. Like I said, my opinion didn't change on the Cowboys after that win yesterday. They looked the same to me. I didn't think they were the worst team in the league. I don't think they're the best team in the league. They're just mid. They're somewhere in the middle in there. This is an 8-8, 8-9 type football team, 9-8 type football team, and they're still trending that way. The play of the game to me was Dak jumping on that fumble, because the game was over with if he didn't get that And this whole Monday was going to be about how terrible that Dak played throughout the game if he didn't jump on that fumble the play before he threw the touchdown. To me, that was the play of the game, of him being able to track that ball down and find it after somebody just completely decleated Rico Dowdle. I don't know why they thought to have him jump. See, those are the moments when I wonder, what did you sign Zeke for? If you're going to get a ball to Rico Dowdle on the 1 yard line, what did y'all sign Zeke for? I thought Zeke was in there for goal line situations. And somehow Zeke 6 carries for 17 yards. But I ain't here to talk about Zeke. We're talking about the players that played. And Dak, like you said, that y'all didn't have to win that game yesterday. And Dak moved the ball down the field and got the win. Was the game ugly? Yeah. Did he play bad majority of that game? Yeah. But he didn't have to go and win that game. And a lot of the times, Dak doesn't go and win those games. But he did last night, so you got to give him credit for it. I got Quay on here with me too, everybody. And Kyrell just jumped in here with me. Quay, I'll go to you, man. What did you think about this game last night, bro? Cowboys getting the win over the Steelers late last night.
2 mid-packs, bro. They both were two teams trying to figure out identity. We watched Steelers come out and play not great football, but just good team ball. Trying to figure it out. You know they're going to be well coached. The Cowboys were just. That's just how bad the Steelers are as a group. Even when they're playing decent football, they gave an opportunity to the Cowboys to come back and win. Like you said, most of the time Dak don't finish those drives, so it was good to see. But it doesn't really matter because it's against the Steelers still. Unfortunately, neither one of these teams have Super Bowl aspirations, I believe.
No.
So it was just a game. Who was going to be the best mid team? Dak missed that throw to Tolbert for the game winner for his first, so he made up for it. But you definitely got to make that first step. Like, come on, man. And the fact that y'all had 2 play calls rolled up for Tolbert in a row lets you know what y'all playbook is. Sorry to say, but yeah, it was a good win. It wasn't a good win. It was a win, and the Cowboys didn't need it, but they needed it for their team, whatever they're trying to do, which I don't know what that is right now. But I'm in no position to talk, so my team is a little drunk as well. So but it was a good win for the Cowboys overall. But it doesn't really help them move the needle on what I see the Cowboys at.
Yeah, we're gonna get to your team later. We talked the Niners. They got some question marks as well. But like you said, Dak's got to make those throws. But like I said in the opening, Dak wasn't playing great in that game, but he made the plays to win at the end, and that's what mattered. Like I said, the best play he made was jumping on that football after Dowdle got hit. Looked like he got hit by Ray Lewis or something, and the ball flew, and Dak ended up jumping on the ball. So that was a huge play, and that ended up setting him up to be able to throw that game winner. So, like I said, got to give Dak the props for making that last-minute drive, those last few-minute drive, and he did that, and he went and won them a game. It wasn't a game they needed, like you said, Quay, necessarily, because it's not like, for playoff seeding or anything like that. This is a game they needed more for morale, because if they lose that game, especially with that fumble at the end, we just go into Monday and we trash Dak and we talk about the offense being terrible. And Mike Zimmer, he made some adjustments. Now, the Steelers offense is bad, but you down your best 2 pass rushers, probably your best 2 players on defense, and Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence, and you come out and get a win. Got to give Mike Zimmer a little bit of credit for that as well. Kyrell, know you're a Cowboys fan that's not going to be too objective about the Cowboys, but you got to watch the game last night too. I'm just playing. I know you'll tell us what happened for real with the Cowboys. But what'd you think about this game last night? Cowboys getting the win over the Steelers.
Yeah, man, that was a great win. I don't know what y'all talking about.
Great win, okay.
A great win. Your quarterback didn't play well. You're down. You beat up all over the field, both sides of the ball. You lose. You're starting tackle, which ended up being a good thing. But the main thing y'all keep saying is like kind of bothering me right now. Is like, why do y'all keep saying this is we didn't need this game? We absolutely needed this game. If we don't win last night, we might not win for the next 5 weeks. Because this is the toughest part of our schedule, man. Like I don't have it in front of me, but the schedule is tough these next 6 weeks. So you absolutely had to go into Pittsburgh and beat Justin Fields. You got to get that one. They tried their best not to. Well, Dak tried his best not to. But it's some positive to take from this. It was an ugly win. I know it's Justin Fields and the net offense, but the team was still 3-1, y'all.
Yep.
This is a well-coached team. The defense still has T.J. Watt and Minkah Fitzpatrick. So that's a good win. You know, everybody was crying about the offense last night. And yeah, Dak can't turn the ball over, but this is what the Steelers do. They let you move the ball all the way down the field and you kick field goals. Kick field goals. They said on the broadcast. But that's what happened. Dak has to not turn the ball over, of course. You know, fumbles is starting to become a problem this year. They've always been a small problem, but this year it's just like, all right, dude, I know it's T.J. Watt, but come on. Outside of that, man, we needed that win, and I'm very happy that Dak was able to, you know, make it happen on that last drive, because it seemed like we just couldn't get in the end zone like it's been every week. But this is just two teams that's just inept of talent. You know, we got superstars, I guess, but those second and third guys that are also on the field, this is not really. I mean, George Pickens is the top receiver. Come on, boy. He had like 3 catches, like mid. What did Jordan Lewis say? It was mid. They need a new receiver. He was just salty because Jordan punked him at the end of not Jordan, but George punked him at the end of the game because he wanted to like, yeah, he gonna get mad.
Like,
bro.
Lewis good either.
Lewis is a good quarter, though. Like,
decent.
Let's not do it. He's decent.
Mid.
No, he's not mid, bro.
No, he's definitely mid. He's for sure mid, but keep going.
What are you going to call him, Kyrie?
He's not good.
Corner.
He's decent at best. But yeah,
corner,
if you can finish your point though.
Y'all can't point out him getting beat for the last like 2 years, bro. He's a good corner.
Because he plays the third or fourth best receiver, bro.
He's
Stop it.
He literally the fourth corner.
He's guarding whoever just barely made the team.
He's second best corner on his team. He's the
How y'all have DeJuan Bland?
Bro, he's the second best corner on this team coverage-wise. DeJuan Bland's a playmaker for sure, but we had this conversation last year about, you know, Big Bland. But anyways, man, Zeke is like, I don't know, man. Dowdle, we should be positive about Dowdle.
Yeah,
you know,
I was in the opener.
There's only two running backs that had good games against his defense. There's Jonathan Taylor and Rico Dowdle.
Yep.
That's it. Everybody else had like under 60 yards, more than 15 carries, under 60 yards. So I think a lot of that was attributed to, unfortunately, our number one pick getting hurt, moving Tyler Smith to left tackle and bringing in the backup guard. All of a sudden, the offensive line looked like they had some fluidity. So I think, this cat, man. But yeah, this whole line got some fluidity now. You know, all of a sudden we're moving. The running back holes were a little bit more open. The combo blocks were hitting. Passing protection was a little bit better, and I think that's a positive going forward. Now, in the long term, it's going to be a negative because our number one pick our O-line is better without our number one pick. That's kind of crazy, but that's the fact of what I saw last night. Shout out Mike Zimmer for having these guys ready to play. Ran out there with Carl Lawson and Tyrus Wheat. I just, this is a good win, but I sound a little somber because this is the gauntlet now. We got Lions next week off their bye. That's an L.
Niners.
Backdoor Niners.
Falcons.
Falcons is probably gonna win that. I don't know, man. I'm not ready for that. But the Falcons was my pick for the start of the season. So and that's still alive. So I just don't know, man. I just don't. But the good thing is the league is a complete mystery right now. The Bengals can't buy a win, but going toe to toe with the heavyweights. The Bills, we had number one in power rankings last week. Quarterback just had 30% completion percentage. I know the Houston's good, man, but 30% is crazy. The Giants beat the Seahawks. What's going on? It's like this is like the most unpredictable start to the season we've had in a minute, man. I can't get a grip on any of these teams. I don't know who's the top team. It might be Houston, but here we are. Houston or Baltimore. But Yeah, I'm just praying and for the craziness continues.
You start praying for his team.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Whichever way.
You know something you gotta pray for.
Yeah.
It's tough. Quay, we suck. Jalen Tolbert is our second best receiver.
Yes, he is.
My team is up right now too.
Yeah, but I don't know what's going on with y'all, honestly.
At least the Niners got that.
Same way last year.
At least the Niners got an excuse of their best players out. But we're going to talk a little bit about the Niners. But I agree with some of your points, Kyrell. Only reason I said the game didn't matter is because in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to matter as far as playoff positioning for either one of these teams. I don't have either one of these teams doing anything in the playoffs, so that's why I said it didn't matter. But I did say that it did matter for morale because they needed to get this type of win against, like you said, Justin Fields. This is the game you got to win because I don't see y'all picking up a win. I mean, the next 5, I don't even know here. The next 5 weeks, you might go 2-3, and that might be good if you go 2-3, depending on where you see Philly at. Because you're losing to Houston, you're losing to Detroit, and you're most likely losing to the 49ers as well. So maybe you could pick up a win with Atlanta and Philly in there, but that's even a mystery. And then you got the Commanders after that, and Jaden Daniels looking like the best quarterback in that division. So it is a tough.
Man, stop.
I just said looking like. I ain't ready to put him as the best quarterback yet.
Was like 50% the whole game and threw a bomb. Oh, now come on.
Hey, still got 80 rushing yards in there.
Every team they beat is 1-4.
This is true. I'm not a believer in the Commanders. I'm not up here. I'm not going to try to even pretend like I'm going to defend the Commanders here. Cause,
man, all he said was he might be the best quarterback in the division. We're the biggest quarterbacks mid.
Exactly. In the super mid division, quarterback wise, they're really all just, you put them all in the jar and just pick up who you really want out of there. It's nobody just special. Dak is clearly the leader, but there's nobody special in that quarterback group. So saying Jaden Daniels could be the best in far-fetched. I'm not putting him as the best just yet.
At the end.
At the end of what? This season? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, at the end of this season, yeah.
But that's to be determined. But like we said, Cowboys, it was a mid-win. Kyrell said it was a big win. They needed it, and I understand when he said because of their schedule coming up. But in all, this wasn't just a huge win because the Steelers, we knew they were – I've been saying it every week. The Steelers are going to fall off. They're going to be 8-8. That's what they do. But they don't have any talent on this team. Who's the best player on their offense? If you say Najee Harris, that's terrible because I started my show by saying I've never liked Najee Harris, even when he was at Alabama. I think he's as mid as you can get as a running back. So if he's your best player on offense, your offense is in trouble, and he might be the best player on their offense. But all in all, Cowboys pick up a win. Dak game-winning drive to lead them down the field. Right now, the best player on the Cowboys offense is probably Aubrey, the kicker. So Cowboys 3-2. Tough schedule coming up over the next few weeks. Folks, we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, Aaron Rodgers, he looked terrible playing overseas in London. Alabama loses to Vanderbilt for the first time in 40 years. Got a lot to talk about. Stay right here, folks, on Centex Primetime. We'll be right back after these short breaks.
Are you looking for something new and unforgettable in Waco? Come to the Blazing Asian, where authentic Cambodian flavors meet creative culinary flair. Voted People's Choice as Waco's #1 Asian restaurant since 2019 by both the Wacoan Magazine and the Waco Tribune Herald. Located inside the popular Union Hall on 8th and Franklin, we're serving up family recipes with a twist. Blazing Asian egg rolls are rolled fresh daily, and their sauces or marinades are made in-house with love. Stop by today. Located inside the popular Union Hall on 8th and Franklin. And for Baylor students, enjoy 10% off with your student ID.
Central Texas home for sports. It's Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports. Catch all your in-depth sports analysis with the best. The hottest sports show in the evening is Centex Primetime, hosted by Jalen Gillis.
Act like y'all.
Weekdays 5 to 7. This is the Central Texas #1 leader in sports. Centex Sports Network.
That's right, sports fans. We can talk about sports.
And Infinity Sports.
The East Waco Empowerment Project, along with City Center Waco, is hosting WeBo, Workshop and Business Opportunities, to help create more entrepreneurs. Business owners like Aniceto Charles of True Jamaica Restaurant and Carla Dotson of Boardwalk on Elm attended WeBo to develop their business ideas into successful Black-owned businesses right in the heart of East Waco. WeBo can also help you turn your side hustle or business idea into the next thriving Black-owned business in our community. If you would like to attend this 10-week intense entrepreneurial workshop, go to WeBoWaco.org. That's WIBO Waco.org. Space.
NSJ Event Co., one of the premier event designers in Central Texas and a Centex Sports Network supporter, voted Waco Awards Event Planner of the Year 2021. NSJ Event Co. is your go-to source for event planning. Whether it's your next baby shower, birthday bash, wedding, or retirement party, NSJ Event Co. will bring out the elegance, class, and style your event deserves. Call NSJ Event Co. at the number on the screen or scan the QR code to schedule a free consultation. NSJ Event Co., where the party lady takes care of all your event needs.
Central Texas home for sports. It's Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports. KWBT-FM, HD2 Waco, Temple, Killeen, Fort Cavazos. The new leader in sports in Central Texas is Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports. This is live from the Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports Studios.
That's right, sports fans.
About to show these boys how we do it. You ready?
Tune in to Primetime Sports Talk with Jalen Gillis, your go-to source for breaking sports news in Central Texas and exclusive Dallas Cowboys coverage on the Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports.
Welcome back, everybody, into Centex Prime Time. We're here about midway through the hour on this Sunday, Monday afternoon, just talking some football. Just got done talking about the Dallas Cowboys and their big win last night, as Kyle said, over the Steelers as they moved to 3-2, as they're right back in the running for this division, honestly, with the Commanders, the Eagles, and the Giants all looking to be around the same tier, except for the Giants. I'm not going to put them in the same tier, even though they did get a good win over the Seattle Seahawks yesterday. Still here joined with PJ Gaither, got Kyrell on here with me today, and Quay as well, as we go through some of these football games from over the weekend. Like I said, just talked about the Cowboys, but I want to talk about another one of these super popular teams in the NFL, and that's the New York Jets. As the Jets and Vikings played in London overseas, they got the early morning game over in London. Vikings moved to 5-0 after they pick up a win over the New York Jets, 23-17 in this game. Now, the Vikings did win this game, but I'm probably going to spend more time talking about the Jets. Vikings moved to 5-0. Nothing really spectacular on offense. Sam Darnold, 14 for 31. No touchdowns. 1 pick. 19 QBR. Now, this Jets defense is still good, so I will give him some credit for finding a way to be able to win this game. But it just felt like this was more of a Jets loss than this was a Minnesota Vikings win. Shout out Jettas. Still had 6 catches for 92 yards in this game, even though he got 14 targets, which is crazy, and you only got 6 catches. But that's not the craziest targets we've seen in this game. To the New York Jets side, this offense, they still haven't been able to get this offense figured out. And all for the last 2 years, we've been saying, man, this Jets team is ready to win. They just need a quarterback. They blamed Sam Darnold. They blamed Mike White. They blamed Zach Wilson. They blamed Joe Flacco. They blamed everybody on that team, saying it was the quarterback's fault. Now they get Aaron Rodgers finally playing. He's back healthy somewhat. And he comes back and he's somewhat healthy in this game. But for some reason, could not come out with the win in this game. Their offense, like I said, it's just been pedestrian at best. The offense has been pedestrian at best so far this season. Couldn't get any running game going, and I'm starting to lean more towards blaming this offensive line than I am blaming Aaron Rodgers. And Garrett Wilson had 13 catches, 101 yards in this game. The running game was bad. Breece Hall had 23 yards. Braylon Allen had 13 yards. I don't know why they can't get the running game going, because I think both of those backs are really good. Garrett Wilson, like I said, 100 yards, but he had 22 targets. That's kind of ridiculous. And if you watch the game, it felt like he had 22 targets, because every time Aaron Rodgers got pressured, he was just I'm just going to throw it up to Garrett Wilson, which I had no problem with, because Garrett Wilson helped me win my fantasy game this week. 13 catches and 100 yards and a touchdown. He had a pretty decent game in my fantasy, but 22 targets, a lot of Aaron Rodgers just throwing the ball up to him. Aaron Rodgers, 29 for 54, 244 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 picks in this game. Now, this Brian Flores defense, once again, it did another one. This defense is, every week I'm saying Brian Flores because this looks like more of the scheme than it does the actual players. Yeah, they've got some good players over there. I really like that they picked up Stephon Gilmore, and he ended up getting that game-winning pick at the end of the game. I like that they picked him up. I like Murphy. I like Shaquille Griffin, Harrison Smith. I like their secondary, and I like their whole defense. But you can tell that the strings are being pulled by Brian Flores. Some of those blitz packages, I mean, they lit Aaron Rodgers up yesterday. There's no doubt about it. They lit him up yesterday. They only had 3 sacks in the game, but multiple pressures in that game. I think they blitzed like on 50% of his dropbacks. He was getting blitzed, and he threw the ball 54 times. So that's a lot of times to be getting blitzed out there. Allen Lazard had 34 yards and a touchdown in this one, but nobody really just looked spectacular on this New York Jets offense. And I still haven't been able to figure out why. It's time to start pointing the finger, though, at Aaron Rodgers. You got to play better. And y'all see the question up there on the big board on the topics if you're watching with us on YouTube. The question is, man, is Aaron Rodgers washed? Is he washed? Are we just seeing the end of Aaron Rodgers now? Is he just going to be a respectable quarterback now instead of Aaron Rodgers, the winner? Because even in his last year in Green Bay, he made them better. He was making throws with no Devontae Adams. He had that team looking. He was still making all the throws. I don't know if it's the age that's caught up to him. I don't know if it's the Achilles injury that's caught up to him, or is this Jets offensive line just that bad? Even though they added a Tyron Smith and Moses and a Morgan Moses out there at tackles, and they still got Vera Tucker in at guard, and offensive line was supposed to be improved. But I'm not sure who just to point the finger at completely just yet with this team. But I'm leaning a little bit towards Aaron Rodgers right now. But I want to get you guys' opinion on this. PJ, I'm gonna start with you, man. What do you think about this Jets game, Minnesota winning this one, and then what do you think about Aaron Rodgers, man? What's the deal with him?
It was me first.
Right now, man, I don't think.
Oh no, I think PJ going. Go ahead, PJ.
I'm sorry. I don't think it's gonna be in watch. Honestly, man, I just honestly think that. I mean, he needs to play better, but at the same time, it's the Jets, and so I don't really know, man. I don't know. I don't really have too much to say about it just because I really love Aaron Rodgers, and I hate to see him playing as bad as he is right now, but I do think they're gonna end up figuring it out eventually.
Yeah, I'll put it on Aaron Rodgers. I hear my nephew in the background. He trying to say that I'm right and blaming Aaron Rodgers too on that one. So we'll come back. But Quay, go ahead, man. Take off. What did you think about? What do you think about this? Is this bad Aaron Rodgers? Is it the O-line? Is it the offense? What's going on, and why the Jets can't figure this out so far?
I think it's a concoction, but to be honest, I still can't figure out why though. Even though he didn't play all last year, you were on that team. You got some type of connection or rapport with that. Like I said, the offensive line is a problem, but Aaron Rodgers threw a game-losing pick.
Yeah.
I've never seen those are not his characteristics at all. Worst case scenario, he just lose the game, but a game-losing pick is crazy. They just, I don't know. In targeting one person 24 times or however many times it was is not a scheme. It's not a playbook that is literally line up and find him on the field. They just don't have it together just yet. I like the Vikings, like we've been saying, they actually scheming things up. It's not about the players on their team. They're well coached and they're showing it. It's just tough. Man. A-Rod is a problem, but it's a team thing.
No, I agree. Now, I'm putting blame on Rodgers because I've been kind of escaping him from the blame, and now I got to start giving him some of the blame. But no, it's definitely not all on him, and he still had some pretty great throws in that game yesterday. It's just the turnovers. He can't get away from pressure anymore. The O-line's not playing good. The most confusing part about all of it is why they can't run the ball, because Breece Hall and Braylon Allen are both good. I don't understand why they can't run the ball, but maybe that's more of a team perspective and just blaming that on Rodgers. Kyra, what are you on this, man? Is this Rodgers being washed? Is this the Jets being bad, or what you think about this?
I'm McCoy, man. It's kind of a concoction of everything. Rodgers isn't washed, but he is worse. He's not the floor riser that he used to be.
Yeah.
Now, this game being in London at 8 in the morning, I did not watch this. But just looking at the box score and then the highlights, man, the 3 picks is inexcusable. You throwing the picks to literal Vikings and Van Ginkel and Stephon Gilmore. But, you know, just again with Brian Flores and all his players, man, all these guys that he's assembled over here, yeah, they've been good players in the past, but these are all rejects.
Yeah.
Shaquille Griffin, right?
Yep.
Yeah, new team. When a player is on a new team, it's not because he's great, you know, outside of the Saquon situation. Usually the team said, we good. Stephon Gilmore, Cowboys said, we good.
I don't know
they
why.
Have, but that's what they said. So, you know, I'm pretty sure if he had got, you know, the same money, he would have stayed. But, you know, Jerry's cheap. I'm pretty sure the Seattle did the same situation, and anybody else was on a different team and had to go somewhere else. They didn't want to pay them what they was worth. And Brian Flores took that, and he's making it work, man. He has his team 4-0. Sam Darnold, 19 QBR, it's Flores. It's got to be Flores. But Aaron Rodgers, man, it's, I don't know if it's the DMT, the ayahuasca, whatever you want to call it, but he's not the floor riser he was, and he is 40. I think he either approaching 40 or he is 40.
He's 40.
Yeah, man, it's a wrap. He looks 40 too. He's still super accurate.
Very.
But the magic of Aaron Rodgers was his mobility, the ability to throw on the run. He was always a great pocket passer, you know, and he could still be that. He could still do the whole Tom Brady thing. But you got to have the discipline and the team to do that. I don't know if the team has the discipline. They for sure have the talent. I don't care what anybody says. Tyron Smith was playing great these first 4 weeks. I don't know how he looked last week, but he looked great the first 4 weeks. He's been highly graded every week. And I know it because, you know, people can't, you know, Cowboy media has been mentioning it a whole lot. So I don't know what to put it on, man. I'm not into voodoo and nothing like that, man, but the Jets might be cursed. They might be. You have a decent quarterback. Yep. You have a potential top 5 receiver. Yep. You have a top running back. Maybe that was the problem. Why does he have 9 carries or something like that, you know? Mm-hmm. Breece Hall is, Gary Wilson is great, Aaron Rodgers is great, but Breece Hall is y'all best player. Like, I think he's the most versatile player y'all have on offense. He can run, and he's probably y'all second best pass catcher. Just, you know, they've been sending that boy on fade routes. So I think, man, I don't know what's wrong with them. I think Aaron Rodgers is not the quarterback to save the Jets. You know, he's not that. Like, I think they need Bucks Tom Brady, not selfish Aaron Rodgers. You know, like, not that guy. He's uber talented, but this has always been the difference between him, Peyton, and Tom is really leadership. You know, that's been his thing his whole career, is leadership. Are you his whole career he's been rising the floor with just his talent alone, but how has he been, you know, just like mentally? Are you getting everybody to lock in around you? Tom did that. Yeah. Tom didn't play no games. Baker Mayfield made a little comment when he was broadcasting his game a couple weeks ago or last week. And he was like, I think not having rings is not fun. Yeah. You know, I'm not here to make it a party or nothing like that. And,
Go talk.
And neither is Aaron Rodgers, but it's a different type of leadership, man. And I don't think, you know, we see the clashes with him and Garrett. Everybody's like, oh, it's competitive. But, man, how many people really like this dude? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think folks really like Aaron Rodgers, bro. Like, they work with him, they respect him because he's great. But I think he needs to tap into another level of leadership to pull the Jets franchise from whatever voodoo they got going on over there. Because they got all the talent, you know? Like, I think they have great collections of talent. Sauce, great linebacker in C.J. Mosley. Quentin Williams is a top 5 nose tackle to me. Yeah. And offense, you got Gary Wilson and Breece Hall. That's more than a lot of teams can say. And then you have Aaron. You should be winning games. What are they?
2-3.
Yeah, that should not be the case. Y'all should be pouncing on this opportunity. The Patriots are down. Tua is in a coma. I don't know what is going on with the Bill. You know, y'all in the Bills should be going for this, and y'all are falling behind. If I'm Salah, right?
Yeah, Robert Salah.
Yeah, man. I'm one of the squad because you finna cost me my job. You know, it's not me. The defense is playing okay. You know, they got. I think it was the Bills they might have played that they got thrashed, but somebody thrashed them. But outside of that, the defense is playing cool. Robert Salah ain't no offensive coach. He ain't never been there. He don't even look like can coach offense. You know, he look like a defensive coach, Beige D'Amico Ryans. But I don't know what's going on with this team, man. I had them being good, and they looked inept.
Yeah, I mean, it's the offense. Clearly, it's the offense. It's not the defense. The defense is still playing good. But for the most part, I'm agreeing with you. Now, Gary Wilson's their best player. I'm not going to say Breece Hall. Breece Hall's he's good. He's a good back, but Gary Wilson is clearly their best player. I don't know what's wrong with the run game because Braylon Allen's good. Braylon Allen's a good running back, too. I'm not sure why this team can't run the ball. To your leadership points, like you said, man, Aaron Rodgers, he's just not that type of guy. I'm not saying he's not a leader, but he ain't a Tom Brady type leader. He's not a Peyton Manning type leader. I don't know if he's an Eli Manning type leader, honestly. Eli Manning was garbage, but at least he knew how to galvanize his team and get his team ready to play some football games. But with this Aaron Rodgers thing, man, it's very confusing. Like you said, they're talented on both sides of the ball. And at this point, it might just be a Jets curse. I don't know. Because I can't put my finger on why they've been playing so bad, but only time will tell with this team, man. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, I don't think he's got a whole lot of time left, especially if they look terrible this year. But they've been in every game. Outside of the first game against the 49ers where they just got beat up, they've been in every single game after that, and they've won. But you lose to the Denver Broncos, who ended up looking decent yesterday, but you lose that 10-9. Then Sam Darnold starts looking like Sam Darnold from the Jets again, and you still can't win that game. Even with your defense playing the way that they played, you still can't win that game. So I'm not sure who to point the blame at. Yes, Robert Salah should be mad, but Robert Salah should be fired as well. I'm not going to lie. He's not doing a great job of leading this team either. As a quarterback, you are supposed to lead the team, but the number one leader of the team is the head coach, and that's Robert Salah, and he hasn't been doing that. Before we go for the break at the top of the hour, I want to talk quickly about another bad quarterback and get y'all's opinion on this. What's wrong with Deshaun Watson, man? I said it was time for him to go after week 2 that Jameis Winston should be playing. But do the Browns just enjoy punishment? That's the part I don't understand. Or do they like being terrible at football? Why is Deshaun Watson playing? It doesn't matter that he's making $50 million, whatever he's making. Bench the dude. He's going to make it whether he's on the bench or whether he's playing. Just bench the guy. I don't understand what's going on in Cleveland. I don't know why. You bring him back after he's played so terrible week in and week out. He hasn't looked the same since he stepped foot in Cleveland that he looked in Houston. Right now that Houston trade was one of the best things that happened for my organization, for the Houston Texans. That's one of the best things that happened was us getting rid of Deshaun Watson because he couldn't keep his hands to himself. Since then, I think that has messed up his psyche so much that he's legit bad at football. He's not good at football anymore. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. I'm not sure what the formula is for this on why he got so bad. It's probably a multitude of things. I seen Stephen A. talking about, Kobe went through something similar to this, and he was able to still come in and focus and kill people in the games and then battling this stuff in court. Well, for one, Kobe got found not guilty. We don't even know if Kobe was guilty of that. Deshaun Watson paid 20-something people. I'm not saying he's guilty or innocent. I'm just saying he paid 20-something people. So you ain't that innocent. Second, Deshaun Watson ain't Kobe. I don't even get why Stephen A. said that. You're going to bring up the most mentally tough person of all time and say, well, Kobe could do it. Well, Kobe could do a bunch of stuff that a bunch of people couldn't do. That's why he's Kobe. But for Deshaun Watson, I don't know why he's so bad. Why aren't they playing Jameis Winston? I felt like this is an easy solution. You're stuck paying Deshaun Watson no matter what. Might as well get over that. Matter of fact, you might as well cut him, because I think if they cut him, they're going to get hit with a huge penalty and you're going to have to pay him $30-something million for the next 2 years. Well, let's just go and get that out the way. You know that's coming eventually. Let's just get it out the way. Let's just go and get Deshaun Watson out the way. Let's get this $30 million and we're going to have to pay him a couple years and get it over with. Or you could pay him for the rest of his contract. Why would you do that? And pay him more than $30 million a year. Might as well cut him and just pay him the $30 million, because he doesn't need to touch the field anymore. I don't think he needs to touch the field for anybody anymore. I think dude is done. I think his brain is I don't know. His psyche is messed up. Too much he went through from his legal troubles has affected his playing to the point that he is no longer a serviceable quarterback. I don't even think he's a backup. Play Jameis Winston. Y'all got Jameis Winston out here giving these Martin Luther King type speeches before every game, and don't let him play. Just let the dude play. What, can he do any worse than what Deshaun Watson is doing? Deshaun Watson's QBR yesterday was 8.5. He had an 8.5 QBR. Let Jameis Winston go out there and play. Now, the Cleveland Browns, the only way you get out of this is you draft a quarterback in the first round. If you're going to draft a quarterback in the first round, you need to be sorry. So since you're already 1-4, hey, man, let's just throw Jameis out there. He's going to make the people feel good at least. Let's throw Jameis Winston out there. He's going to give some great speeches. He'll have some moments, and he's going to throw a bunch of picks. But at least he'll put the ball in the air. Deshaun Watson has the least amount of yards traveled per pass. I think all of his completions are for 3 yards. He's not even throwing the ball. That's why I said it's a psyche. He's literally not even challenging defenses by throwing the ball downfield. And I'm not sure why that is, but he's got to get out. You know, Jameis Winston, at least he's going to chunk the ball. At least he's going to chunk the ball down the field and give people an opportunity. This team made some changes in the offseason and went and got some more help, got some more weapons. They already had Amari Cooper, who showed he still can play, but they went and got Jerry Jeudy. We know Jerry Jeudy can play. He's just been in 2 bad situations with Denver, and now he probably feels like this is even worse, because now your quarterback's bad, but now you have to live in Cleveland. What's worse than that? Now you got to be with a bad quarterback and you got to live in Cleveland. This is a punishment. Elijah Moore, he goes from bad quarterback play in New York, so now he's got to live in Cleveland and get bad quarterback play. So I'm not sure what the fix is for this. The only fix I can see moving forward from here is you keep Deshaun Watson or you cut him. You're going to pay him regardless. So whatever you do, you know, you're going to pay this guy. Y'all gave him the stupidest contract in NFL history, giving him $230 million guaranteed. That's y'all's fault. Didn't nobody make y'all do that. I know he was going to go to Atlanta and ruin their franchise instead, so you had to give him something else so he would come to Cleveland because he had a no trade clause. So y'all gave him $230 million just to get him to come there. Now y'all stuck with it. So that's y'all's fault. We don't have no sympathy for you on that. You're stuck with this contract. The only thing you can do moving forward is draft a quarterback. Draft a quarterback, pay Deshaun Watson to sit on the bench. You don't want him to mentor this guy because he's not exactly the guy you get as a mentor. Just based off of some of the things he's been accused of and still being accused of. He's not exactly a mentor. So maybe you just pay this dude. It's best you just cut him and pay him to chill at the crib. I think Deshaun Watson's football career as a starter is over. And depending on where this next legal case goes, his football career might just be done in general. Might have to go coach high school football like Teddy Bridgewater, bro. It might. Well, I don't know if you. Never mind, because you can't be within a certain. You can't be within a certain yardage of a high school. So never mind on that. You ain't coaching football and you can't coach Little League either. So what the best thing you can do is join the league in NCAA or something online, and you can play that, and that's how you can fulfill your football dreams. Because quarterback play is over, man. He's the worst quarterback in the league right now. I'm taking Bryce Young over this guy. As bad as Bryce Young is look, Deshaun Watson's the worst quarterback in the league. Fellas, I'm going to get y'all's opinion when we come back. We got to go to break for the top of the hour. Second hour, hour number 2 coming up, folks. Make sure you stay tuned. As you can see, we're going to talk about the Deshaun Watson thing. We got to talk about Alabama losing. We got to talk about Tennessee losing. And we got to talk about Cam Ward rising his draft stock and his Heisman candidacy all the way to the top after that comeback win against Cal. You're watching Centex Primetime and listening to Centex Primetime on Centex Sports Network and on Infinity Sports Radio, Central Texas as well. Stay right here, folks. We're going to be right back after this break for hour number 2.
Central Texas home for sports. It's Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports. Catch all your in-depth sports analysis with the best. The hottest sports show in the evening is Centex Primetime, hosted by Jalen Gillis.
Act like y'all.
Weekdays 5 to 7. This is the Central Texas #1 leader in sports. Centex Sports Network.
That's right, sports fans. We can talk about sports.
And Infinity Sports.
NSJ Event Co., one of the premier event designers in Central Texas and a Centex Sports Network supporter. Voted Waco Awards Event Planner of the Year 2021, NSJ Event Co. is your go-to source for event planning. Whether it's your next baby shower, birthday bash, wedding, or retirement party, NSJ Event Co. will bring out the elegance, class, and style your event deserves. Call NSJ Event Co. at the number on the screen or scan the QR code to schedule a free consultation. NSJ Event Co., where the party lady takes care of all your event needs.
The East Waco Empowerment Project, along with City Center Waco, is hosting WeBo, Workshop and Business Opportunity, to help create more entrepreneurs. Business owners like Aniceto Charles of True Jamaica Restaurant and Carla Dotson of Boardwalk on Elm attended WeBo to develop their business ideas into successful Black-owned businesses right in the heart of East Waco. WeBo can also help you turn your side hustle or business idea into the next thriving Black-owned business in our community. If you would like to attend this 10-week intense entrepreneurial workshop, go to WeBoWaco.org. That's WIBO Waco.org. Space.
Are you looking for something new and unforgettable in Waco? Come to the Blazing Asian, where authentic Cambodian flavors meet creative culinary flair. Voted People's Choice as Waco's #1 Asian restaurant since 2019 by both the Wacoan Magazine and the Waco Tribune Herald. Located inside the popular Union Hall on 8th and Franklin, we're serving up family recipes with a twist. Blazing Asian egg rolls are real fresh.
12997.
Marinades are made in-house with love. Stop by today. Located inside the popular Union Hall on 8th and Franklin. And for Baylor students, enjoy 10% off with your student ID.
It's the family feels for me. The banana pudding, peach cobbler make you want to holler. For me, it's the candy yams, mac and cheese, beef tips, pork tips and rice, collard greens. It's the sweet potato pie, sweetie. Fried chicken, you've been missing the lemon sweet tea dressing on Sundays when you all dressed up. Chest pie, buttermilk, and pound cake. Cornbread with butter just dripping, always fresh baked. If you need Southern style, soul food, home cooked meals that you can feel. Chicken and dumplings, chicken pot pie. 719 South 11th Street. Sassy's, come on by.
Tune in to Primetime Sports Talk with Jalen Gillis.
We can talk about sports. Listen, it's that time.
This is live from the Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports Studios.
We live.
Stay ready to voice your thoughts by calling 1-800-215-0598. Right here on Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports.
Hello and welcome back, everybody. Hour number 2. Here on Centex Primetime. I'm your host, Jalen Gillis. I want to welcome everybody in that is tuning in with us here in hour number 2. Some of you guys just now getting off of work. I want to get a little bit of football knowledge in before the Monday night game here. Coming up in about an hour. New Orleans taking on back-to-back Super Bowl champs, Kansas City Chiefs. That game coming up, and we'll talk about that one a little bit later. As always, folks, if you want to be able to watch this content 5 to 7 weekdays, go over to Centex Sports Network on TV, on YouTube, Centex Sports TV on YouTube. Check us out there. You can subscribe, hit that bell so you can get notified every time that we go live, 5 to 7. Or if you want to be able to listen to this from wherever you're at home, at work, in your car, wherever you're at, download the app Centex Sports One, and you can go on there, download that app. You'll be able to listen to this content 5 to 7 on Infinity Sports Radio, Central Texas. So, folks, before we went to break, we were talking about some bad quarterback play from Aaron Rodgers, what they got going on with the Jets. After that, we started talking about some bad quarterback play in Cleveland that I think is the worst in the league, and Deshaun Watson right now. Deshaun Watson's been playing terrible pretty much his entire season and last season as well. Now, some some injuries. Some injuries have gone along with that as well, but there's a lot of things that have factored in to why he's been so bad. But I want to get you guys' opinion on it. I got to talk about Deshaun Watson already and why I thought he was so bad. So, PJ, I'm going to start with you, man. What's going on with Deshaun Watson, and what should the Cleveland Browns do? Because I don't understand this on what's been going on out there in Cleveland. See, do we still? So I'll come back to you, PJ, on there. Couldn't hear your mic through there, but so we'll come back to you in a second. Quay, let's go to you, bro. What's going on with this Deshaun Watson thing in Cleveland, man? Why is he been playing so bad, and what should Cleveland do from here?
Man, they messed up his regimen, man. They messed up him going to go see the people that he go see. I think something just got reported about another lady coming out or something. It's just like he is not into football at the moment. He's not as good as he once was, and like you said, the best thing happened in Houston is trading him, and we seen. I know they are praising themselves like we let him go in the midst of.
At the perfect time.
Something that could deplete our whole organization, and they cleared themselves of that. Now we have to watch the Browns go through it. They have talent. And to watch, I think Amari Cooper, when he walked off the field yesterday, I watched his whole receiving core, whole team watch him give up on him.
Yeah.
It's bad. Why not play James? Y'all not good anyway. And man, go get somebody. Go get like I said, we got Bryce Young and Sidney, and we talking about he not good, man. Somebody go get somebody, man. Just give but Deshaun Watson might be walking away from the NFL $50 million a year and not play for anybody after this.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he can. I mean, it'll be tough. I'm not gonna say never, because the NFL, you never know. But it'll be tough for him to come back and play with somebody after this. PJ, we'll go back to you, man. What's going on with this Deshaun Watson thing?
It's really unfortunate, bro, just because we kind of just really watched him, fall down after them allegations came out, him being a freaky man and stuff and getting happy ending. We just keep on seeing him fall down some more, man. And I think there's some allegations out still that he hasn't really beat those allegations yet. So he just got a lot going on, and I really think it's affecting his play. You can really, I don't even think I know it's affecting his play. You can just tell, man. Don't nobody really just drop all of a sudden like he has. And I think it's over with for him too, man. I really don't know like how he can come back from this. And then it's bad because he's with the Browns, and that's just a tough organization to even really change around. Kind of similar to the Jets, they tend to get really, really good players, but they really just don't know how to utilize them. Or you get players on that team, and they just kind of waste away. Guys like Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy, Elijah Moore, Nick Chubb. Like, these are some really good players, and I hate to see them really just be on a team where, it's not really beneficial for them. Similar to Garrett Wilson with the Jets. Like, at some point, these guys, they're going to stop buying in if they already haven't, and they're going to start trying to shop to go somewhere else. And they really not wrong in those situations whenever they do that, and sometimes it comes down to either the organization is incompetent or you just got a QB, you know what I mean, who just really, he not helping the situation that's already bad, it's already a bad situation, and he's making it worse by his play. So if I was him, honestly, I'll probably just go ahead. I mean, and it's hard. I can't even say if I was him, because if I was in his shoes, I'd probably still be trying to play too.
Yeah.
But I don't think he got it no more, man. He too far. He too far gone at this point. Even if he was to go to another team, it just don't seem like he has it no more. So saying that he's the worst QB right now in the league, really not too far fetched. Because I feel like there's certain backups right now on other teams that can play better than him right now.
I mean, that's facts. I don't think it's far fetched to say that he's the worst QB in the league, and I do think that his psyche is too far gone. Just like you said, man, I think it's too far gone for him at this point. Could he still be a backup and, relieve somebody every now and then if somebody gets hurt? Maybe. But I don't even know if he wants to do that. It doesn't look like he wants to play football anymore right now, just from how it looks. Cabrera, what's your thoughts on this Cleveland Browns stuff, man? And what should they do and with Deshaun Watson and how he's been playing?
Yeah, man. I don't know. They done got themselves in the pickle. I know that. How you cut him? You can't. I don't know, man. You're going to have to bite the bullet regarding something. Okay. Is it his money? Is it I don't know. I don't know what they do. How do you, as an organization, even get in this situation? Let's talk about that. Y'all done put yourselves in probably the worst situation in football.
Yeah. Right?
Like, I think every organization is in a better spot than the Cleveland Browns. I saw some Browns fans talking about, man, you seen that meme with the dude on the bus and like one side is sunny and one side is all gloomy?
Yeah.
So one day it was like, whatever their record is with Deshaun or whatever their record is with Jameis. So they don't care. They just don't. Yeah. They just flat out don't like him. They want him on the bench. There was a little story that was out there saying that he quit on the team. I don't want to jump on that. It looks like that.
Talking about Watson?
Yeah, Watson. It looks like that he had 12 on the field, so that's why he didn't want to go for it on fourth down because he knew they was going to get a penalty. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know what's happened to Deshaun Watson, man. He went from arguably top 5 quarterback in the league to this, and I don't know how it happened, man. I mean, I guess he can't function now that everybody knows who he is. All them skeletons came out, so maybe he's that. And he kind of always had one of them faces, man, that you just couldn't really trust. Cause why are you 23 with that many wrinkles on your forehead? But I don't know, man. They got to do something about Deshaun Watson. I think they gotta. The Carolina Panthers clearly want to kill Bryce Young because they put him in after Andy Dalton after they were getting blown out with the backup O-line.
I don't know what's that's crazy.
So they clearly want to kill Bryce Young. I think you got to figure out how to get one of these teams. Actually, nobody's gonna do that. Nobody's gonna do that. Y'all just gotta bite the bullet. The owner gotta write that check, man. Get him off the team because the receivers don't like him. Like Quay said, man, their body language is horrible.
Terrible.
Concerning him. You gotta get Jameis' goofy self in there and boost the team morale. That's the best thing he gonna do. If he on the field, at least, the people gonna feel better, I guess. But man, Deshaun Watson, man, what a fall from grace. I thought he was gonna be like before Mahomes, I thought it was Deshaun.
Yeah.
I thought Deshaun was gonna take this mantle that Mahomes is taking. Lead this new era of the black quarterback. Yeah. And he's falling to I don't want him a part of the movement. No. I don't even want I hope like the Haitians, other people, whatever black folks, Jamaicans, any other group of black people can have him because we don't want him. We don't want him leading this movement because he's embarrassing at this point. His play, his behavior, he got it going on, man. I don't. It's sad to see because he was that dude was like, I don't know if people remember, guys, he was a top 5 quarterback, top 6.
He was on my team. I remember. I got his jersey in my closet just in case something happens and he gets famous or something and his jersey go for some money. I still got it, but it's in the back of the closet.
Uber talented. Better than Trevor Lawrence, better than like all these other players. I was taking Deshaun Watson. When he got that money, nobody blinked an eye.
Nope.
Hey, cool. Yeah, give him whatever, $200 million, whatever it was, $230. Cool. But now it's the worst contract it might be the worst contract in sports.
It's up there. It's up there as the worst contract in sports history. Seeing how far, I don't even know how far you can go back to see somebody get this bad from being a top 5 quarterback in the league to being. We're debating is he the worst. We're debating is he the worst quarterback in the NFL, including backups, because Joe Flacco is clearly better than him. He proved that last year. And they said they didn't want to re-sign Joe Flacco. That was pretty stupid. Should have re-signed Joe Flacco. Because you know you ain't going to have to pay Joe Flacco anything because he's 69. You don't have to pay him any money. He'll come out there and he might play for free. He just wants to get out the house, I guess. And he looked good playing with the Colts the last couple of weeks. But like y'all said, you got to get Jameis in there, man. And I'm not a dude that think Jameis is terrible. I think you just can't take the reins off of Jameis and just say, go do whatever, because he's going to go back to 30 for 30. But in a controlled environment, Jameis isn't terrible. With this team, Jameis could be decent. All they need is decent quarterback play. They got 3 good receivers. Nick Chubb is getting ready to come back. They got a decent O-line whenever they're healthy. They still got Myles Garrett on defense. They got Denzel Ward. So Cleveland Browns, like Kyra said, you're going to have to bite the bullet. You're going to have to pay this dude. Might as well pay him and go home. Let Jameis get in there and then draft a quarterback. That's all I can say for them. Moving on, got a couple quick takes before we jump back into some NFL talk, and we'll talk about the game tonight, Chiefs versus Saints as well. Got to talk about the upset of, it might be the biggest upset since I think PJ said since Appalachian State and Michigan when we were talking about it. Alabama losing to Vanderbilt. Nobody saw this coming. Now, I was tempted before this game started to take the points on Vanderbilt only because Alabama was like plus 14 and Vanderbilt's been playing decent football. And Alabama notoriously plays down to competition. Now, them losing, I definitely didn't see because they actually messed up my parlay. I had a good thing going. I picked SMU to beat. I picked SMU to win the game that they played. I had some pretty decent picks going. I was kind of proud of myself. Picked SMU plus 7. I picked Georgia money line. I picked Penn State money line. I picked Ohio State minus 17.5. I knew they would blow out Iowa. I picked Nebraska minus 6.5. Now, they had me sweating in that one because Nebraska ended up winning by just a touchdown, but they still covered. All comes down to the last one, my 2 last ones, because Tennessee ended up blowing it. But before Tennessee messed it up, Alabama, I had them money line because I was scared to take the points because I almost took Vanderbilt in the points, which I should have did. And you always know once you second guess yourself whenever you're making your picks that you're finna get it wrong. And that's what I did. But Alabama loses in the upset of the last 20 years for sure. You know, this offense, we praised them and how they looked against Georgia just a week ago. But after watching this Vanderbilt game, Vanderbilt came to play and all that, and I understand it. But this offense is starting to just go down to, hey, where's Ryan Williams at? Let's just get him the ball and find him. He's 17. If the whole offense is, let's find the 17-year-old, you're in trouble. And I think Alabama's going to be in trouble in a couple weeks when they play. Or they're not. That's Georgia that's playing them. But I think Alabama is going to be in trouble. They'll probably, Alabama always has one of these bad losses. And they usually bounce back from it. But as they get to the playoffs and SEC championship time, I think some question marks around this Alabama team. Losing to Vanderbilt is crazy. Vanderbilt is one of those teams. They're like Kansas was in the Big 12. I can't even say was because the way Kansas has looked recently, they're trying to go right back to that. But they're like how Kansas was in the Big 12 for years. You know it's a dub. Automatically, before you start, you already know it's a dub. But they find a way to get the win over Alabama in this game, man. This is just a really bad loss. Something Nick Saban never did, obviously. Kalen DeBoer, you've done a great job so far this season. But being the team, you just never want to be that team that loses them. If you beat a team 30-something times in a row, you don't want to be that team that loses to them. And this Alabama team is that team. That's going to hurt Jalen Milroe's Heisman chances, unfortunately. That's going to hurt some team morale, unfortunately. That's going to put a little bit of a stain on Kalen DeBoer as a head coach, unfortunately. Now, do I think it's the end of the world for Alabama? No. Could they still make a run in the college football playoffs? For sure. But losing to Vanderbilt is just crazy. You don't come out and do that. PJ, I'm going to go to you first, man. What do you think about Alabama losing to Vanderbilt for the first time in, I think, like 30-something years? We'll come back to him. Quay, we'll go back to you, bro. Vanderbilt Alabama. What's going on with this?
It was ugly because you just came out beating Georgia.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it was ugly, and bro, like you said, bro, Ryan Williams gonna be that guy for y'all at 17. It's gonna be tough going down the stretch. Cause ain't like they schedule gonna get any easier in the SEC. And people feel like Vanderbilt can beat you, they can beat you. And all Vanderbilt did was have time of possession and execute on first down.
Yeah.
Think about it. Alabama had an opportunity to win. In the end, they couldn't get a stop. So it was a terrible loss for him. Jalen Milroe, that don't help your Heisman at all. Oh my God, it really made it worse. It was uncharacteristic for Alabama. Nick Saban would never. He's lost the game, but he's not losing to them. That was terrible, bro. It was a bad because they really lost the whole game. And the time of possession was crazy, bro. Man, Vanderbilt not even good, bro. Just say
They're not.
It was just terrible off.
That's what makes it so bad. Vanderbilt's not gonna go after this and be world beaters or something, and start, making and start beating all these teams in the SEC. That's the part that makes it worse. Is that Vanderbilt is still gonna be Vanderbilt after this is over. So it's just gonna be a bad loss on your record. And when you lose to Vanderbilt, it's not just a bad loss on your record. It's just a bad loss in general because you only lose to them like once every 30 years. The coach for Ole Miss, I don't know why I went. Lane Kiffin was in the press conference, and they were watching it happen while he was in the press conference, and he said, "I'm distracted because this is a once in a lifetime loss." That's what he said out of his own mouth because he was at this Alabama program. He understands that you can lose to many different teams, but you never ever lose to Vanderbilt. We'll try again with you, PJ. What's going on with this Alabama and Vanderbilt thing?
I think with Alabama, man, I don't know. I can't even say this is just one kind of this is just like a regular loss that they probably consistently have throughout the years. It's only a few times that we really just see them have like a huge upset against somebody that they really should beat. This loss right here, though, man, you said 20 years. I think this is probably the worst loss I've probably seen ever. Because you got to think, Vanderbilt hadn't beat Alabama, in 40 years. It's been 40 years since they won against Alabama. And they're like 0-60 versus top five schools or top 25 schools. I think they were like 0-60. They've never won against any top 25, team. So to go in against Alabama and do like they did, I didn't think that they would beat Alabama, but I did think they would give them a good game because Vanderbilt has been looking a little good this season. They still lost against Georgia State, but they've been looking better. So I really, man, it's a terrible loss. I think the biggest thing for me was I was watching a lot of the mannerisms of the players that's on Alabama, and you could just tell that they're not disciplined no more. They don't really have the same discipline that they had whenever Saban was the coach. I gotta put them out a little bit, bro. Malachi Moore.
Yeah, that's bad.
That looked terrible, bro. Like you kicking the ball, you pushing the quarterback's head into the ground. They even tried to get somebody to come, take him out the game, and instead of him coming out the game, he shooed the guy away and was like, "Hey, go back onto the sideline."
Yeah.
Not listening to his defensive coordinator. His defensive coordinator came out onto the field trying to get him off the field, and he still wouldn't listen. So those are things that you would never see on a Saban team because Saban, he'd mess around and kick you off the team, or you're going to be sitting out. If I was the coach, I'd be sitting them out, or I would have kicked them out too. And I really don't think there's going to be any repercussions behind his actions because I've seen him talk about it with Caleb DeBoer after the game, and he kind of really just, he didn't really say nothing too much about it. Like he honestly, to me, he almost justified it in a way. So, and that's one of your captains.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of your captains acting like that. So, I don't really know, man. This loss to Alabama, it can be a huge loss because you got to think they got to play LSU, Oklahoma, Tennessee, and they still got Missouri on their schedule. And yeah, you can be like, well, Missouri lost this past Saturday too, and you can say, well, Oklahoma, they're not looking too good. We're gonna see how really good they are whenever they play against Texas this week. You know, you can say all these things, but at the same time, they just lost against Vanderbilt. So when you lose against Vanderbilt, you can lose against anybody in the SEC. This just shook up the SEC now.
Yeah, that's a huge shakeup in the SEC, and I mean, you said it perfectly. If you lose to Vanderbilt, you can lose to South Carolina, you can lose to Tennessee, you can lose to Missouri. And your point about Moore on that defense, man, that he's a captain. He's a captain on the team, and for him to not come out after they're saying sub out, he almost walks to the end zone, so he don't got to come out. He's kicking the ball, he's throwing his mouthpiece at people, he's shoving the quarterback's head in the ground. Nick Saban would have stopped the game. He would have just said, hey, forget if we finna lose. I don't care about any of that. The game would have stopped. The fact that they send him to sub him in, the defensive coordinator comes on the field, and dude says no and walks away, and then y'all let him stay in, Nick Saban would have stopped the game. He would have had to take the helmet off and the shoulder pads off on midfield in front of the world. So that is a bigger problem than you losing to Vanderbilt, because it's showing a lack of discipline in your program. Now, we knew they're not going to be as disciplined as they were with Nick Saban, but still, that's a problem. Kyra, what are your thoughts on this Alabama losing to Vanderbilt last Saturday?
That's ugly. You know, like that. What I don't even have to say, man. That's embarrassing. You got I think this is like the first. Man, I don't know, man. It's just terrible. That quarterback, you look like the dude off the longest yard. They beat you. They just converted a 4th and 1. It looked like they came out in like the wing T formation. Y'all fell for that. Like, then you got your captain out there crashing out, bro. It just looks bad. I want to know, cause you know I'm happy about it in the long run, cause I wanted Texas to come over here and just wreck shop. Yeah, so this is great. But I would give a good amount of money to hear what Nick Saban was saying in that moment.
Oh my goodness.
Boy, do you know, man, the lights would have went out in the stadium, man.
Facts. He'd unplugged everything.
Everything. And you're Malachi Moore. What are you doing? Like, are you serious? Are you that mad, that upset that you're gonna try to beat up the quarterback? I don't even know what was you doing in that moment? I'm gonna fight him. He already down, but I'm gonna fight him. And then the defensive coordinator's on the field. The game's over. Come out. Why you wanna stay on? What you finna do? You wanna beat somebody else up? Dude, come off the field. I don't understand what was going on, boy. Like, everybody see you. Every team sees you. Who's gonna draft? Like, even the Dominican Sue was acting civilized while he was in college.
Yeah.
He did all that stuff once he got to the league.
Yeah.
Kicking people in the face. Doing all that, man.
He was dominant.
Yeah, and he was dominant. Not losing to Vanderbilt. You know? But you out here shoving the opposing quarterback's face in the ground. The game is over. You kicking the ball? Dude, I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't never want to beat up on none of my people's kids, man. But I was tuned in to all these. I don't give nothing but the Tide, because they was commenting on them, all them people, and they were saying exactly what you think they would say, and I was sitting there nodding. Like, yeah, he need to, you know, he need to get on somewhere, whatever they were saying, all that stuff, and I was like, bro, and that's embarrassing. If I'm his dad, if I'm his mom, boy, I'm snatching him up. I don't care what's going on, man. I'm snatching you up. What are you doing embarrassing us like on TV? If I'm the team, what's his name? What's the coach's name? Debo?
Kalen DeBoer.
DeBoer. Yeah. I'm on him too. Cause you soft. You soft. You gotta go in the locker room and fight one of these dudes, man. Cause they clearly don't respect you.
You gonna get this old man whooped, man.
Clearly. But you gotta try. You know, you gotta
you're doing backflip.
Yeah, yeah.
Come on. What is going on? That was so embarrassing as a football guy, man. Like when your coach tells you to come off the field and you getting waved off, like. But it would be different if like the game was on, if there was still plays to be made. I can understand the passion, whatever. I can understand it, bro. Jalen, the game is over. He can do nothing else but beat people up. That's it. That's all he wanted to do. That's what he was arguing about staying on the field for. The game was over. He had already did all that other stuff. Left. Bro, seconds left. He said he gotta find somebody else to stomp out.
Ultimate crash out.
Crash out. Like, it turns out George Pickens might be a nice dude. Compared to this dude, man. Like, I know we got another ski mask draft pick over here, man. Like, what is going on? Get off the field.
Yeah, it's embarrassing, man. I gotta agree with everything he said. It's just embarrassing to see that after. It's embarrassing to lose to Vanderbilt. Not that no one can lose to Vanderbilt, but if you beat a team for 40 years, if you're gonna make sure you beat anybody, can y'all beat them? Why y'all want to do it when Jalen Milroe the quarterback? Because I like Jalen Milroe. Why don't y'all do this whenever one of these other dudes was the quarterback, man?
Mac Jones.
Yeah, when Mac Jones was the quarterback. All these dudes that look like Kirk Herbstreit that's been the quarterback for Alabama for 30 years. Why didn't y'all do it when one of them was there? Y'all wait till we get Jalen Milroe in there, and now y'all want to lose to Vanderbilt? And then the Malachi Moore thing, I mean, that's crazy, bro. You got to make him transfer. At this point, nah, bro. You got to get off
the team.
You got to be off the team, man. You got to be after actions like this and an embarrassing loss, and you act this way. He literally ran to the end zone so he didn't have to get subbed out. I ain't never seen that before, bro.
Like, you throwing temper tantrums on the field, bro. You supposed to be one of the captains.
The captains?
One of the captains.
Come on, man.
You're a fifth-year senior. You graduated last year. He's a fifth-year senior, bro. He's a graduate player. He's already graduated. He's a fifth year. He's supposed to go into the draft, but he chose to come back.
And be a crash out.
He chose to come back and be a crash out. It don't make no sense, bro. Like, I'm not even an Alabama fan, man, but I'm just a fan of character. So to watch him do that on the field, on Saturday, it really rubbed me
wrong. It's ridiculous.
And I know it rubbed a lot of other people wrong. Like, that's just ridiculous. Like, you don't act like that. If you his parent, like, if he got his mom and his dad around, like, they really supposed to, like, come and jack him up immediately after the game.
That's bad. And then, like you said, he's a graduate. This is a grown man. Go ahead, Kyrell, before we get off this, what you was about to say. That's a grown man out there. That's crazy that's what you would decide to do.
Oh, man. All I'm going to say is NIL.
Oh, it's done. It's done.
That's all I'm going to say.
All I'm going to say is...
I'm not even about that. I'm saying culture. NIL culture.
Yeah. NIL, yeah, these dudes got money. It's harder to tell. Your one word is NIL, my one word is CFL, because that's where you finna be playing at, bro. And you do that, these scouts is not looking at you any longer. You gotta. He said he's a graduate, so he can't transfer anywhere. I was gonna say you gotta send this dude to Alabama A&M or something, man. You gotta. I'm not even gonna do that to my HBCU. You gotta send him to South Georgia. What's the team that Vanderbilt lost to? PJ,
Georgia State.
Yeah, Georgia. You got to send him to Georgia State, bro.
Yeah, Georgia State.
All right, come on, man. You after that, that's ridiculous. You don't ever see anything like that. For you to walk to the end zone when a coach says sub out, so you ain't got to sub out. That's just crazy. And I know that we got this new era of YNs out here on the field, but man, we ain't seen nothing like that, bro. You ain't seen nothing like that. That's crazy.
Shout out to number 6 for South Carolina on Saturday. Empty the
oh my God! Hey, that was crazy.
On the quarterback.
Hey, we gotta check on these kids. At this point, we gotta stop disciplining. We gotta check on these kids, man. Some of these dudes' head is not right,
bro. These kids is obsessed with switches. Every single one of them. Even the young dudes in the NFL.
Yeah.
Guns.
Vita Vea.
Wrong with them, man.
Yeah. I don't know what they gotta chill, man. Y'all gotta get off Call of Duty and Fortnite and all this, bro. This got y'all crashing out, man. For you to get a sack, bro. The dude on South Carolina. Go ahead, Quay.
My bad, bro. I went to a Little League game in Carolina. It was 900 adults arguing over 6th graders.
Ooh,
bro, it's football, period, but it's the kids and what they're influenced by. Like I said, it's coming. The weight, bro. I watched the little kid break up a pass. He pulled his shirt up. It said stop. I'm like, okay. Like,
No, Quay, I saw him. He's not lying, Jalen. You know that new cornerback celebration where they like flash was on their hip?
Yeah.
Bro, he's like 10, he's 11.
See, that's the problem with this. That's the problem with this because you influencing another generation. So when you the dude from South Carolina and you get up and you sack the quarterback and then you Swiss cheese him, you pull the machine gun out and you Swiss cheese the quarterback after you get the sack. We got a problem, man. Hey, I know New Orleans, that was y'all dances and that was y'all culture and all that, LSU. Hey, man, y'all started something that you can't control anymore. When Malik Neighbors did the guns thing, all right, that was cool. He still made it look dancey. But then you seen Kyron Lacey took it too far. The first game of the season, he ran up to the dude and did a machine and put the machine gun to his face. These dudes can't wait to crash out. In my opinion, too much NBA YoungBoy. That's just my opinion. Y'all follow crash outs, and y'all are turning into them, as you can see with the Moore kid. But all in all, Alabama, they lose to Vandy, man. Terrible loss. Kalen DeBoer, you got some culture problems in there, man. You gotta no more. It can't be right foot creep before the game. You gotta go back to listening to Country Road before the game because y'all need some culture changes in Alabama. It's not working. What y'all doing right now is not working. The football wins are gonna run out, and these dudes got to go be regular civilians in the real world. So hopefully they figure that part out. Real quickly.
Can I ask a question,
go ahead, Corey.
But what culture has won with their style, like letting their players do whatever? I haven't seen it.
Nobody.
Like even the better teams in the NFL, nobody's done with letting their players do anything and get penalized. It's not gonna win. They don't win.
On any level. You won't win in 6U and 10U football doing that. On any level, you're not gonna win if you just let people do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
So Alabama, Kalen DeBoer, you got some questions, bro. Everybody was giving you props for the stuff with Jalen Milroe. Now you got to deal with this. With the loss to Vanderbilt, you ain't lost to them in 40, 50 years. And then you got to deal with people crashing out mid-game in the middle of the field. So that's crazy. But on a positive note in college football, before we jump back to the NFL, we still got a game tonight, Chiefs versus Saints, so I want to cover that. Before we go to that, I want to talk about Cam Ward just a little bit. They came back on California. PJ, me and you, we talked about this, bro. There's going to be an issue when teams got to fly 2,000 miles across the country. Stuff like this is going to happen. Do I think that Cal is better than Miami or even close to as good as Miami? No. But if you put a bunch of kids on a plane and make them fly 2,000 miles somewhere else to play 3 hours behind the time schedule, the time zone that they're used to, and they end up playing the game till 2 a.m. On their time, and it's gonna have games like this. But Cam Ward showed a lot. They was able to fight through that. They were down big in this game. They were down pretty much the entire game, and Cam Ward led them to be able to come back into this game, made a lot of big plays. What does this comeback win for Miami? It's helped them move up in the polls. They're moved up to number 8. But what does this do for Cam Ward and his draft stock and his Heisman chances? PJ, I'll start with you.
You know, it's crazy because I turned the game off. I thought they was going to lose.
Yeah.
Because, number 1 lost, number 4 lost, number 9 lost, 10 and 11 lost. Also, number 22 Louisville lost against SMU. So I'm like, man, everybody losing today.
Yep.
So I'm watching the game, and, I got mad. It was like third quarter, the end of the third quarter, like kind of going into the fourth quarter. I was mad. I was like, man, I'm going to turn the game off. Miami, they be choking every year.
Yep.
Every year I think the U back, and they end up choking. So I was upset. And then I think like probably 2 hours after that, I just happened to get on Instagram, and I seen it was like Miami comeback, Cam Ward, make the comeback for Miami, and they win 39-38. And I was like, what? So I went and watched the highlights of the fourth quarter, and man, that was an insane. That was an insane like fourth quarter, bro, that he had. That was very Heisman-like.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. That was very Heisman-like. His stock was already high. Just from his play at Incarnate Word and then transferring to Washington State last year and playing the way he played, his stock was already high. But now his stock is really I ain't going to lie, man. it's up there with anybody else that you consider a top pick in the draft going into next year. So, Cam Moore, he legit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't really think that Cal is just, like you said, I don't think Cal is just a super good team. I don't think that they're a terrible team, though. If you really just watch them this year, they're not a terrible team. They're mid.
Yeah.
They might go to a bowl game for sure. They might get to a bowl game, But to play the way he played, man, that was a crazy comeback. And like I said, I think Cam Ward, he can. You can argue that he's up there with any of the other guys that you feel that's going to be a top pick this year. I don't think he possibly going to the first round, but I wouldn't be surprised with how the rest of the season goes for Miami. Definitely, if they get to the ACC championship game and win that, get into the playoffs, he could possibly be a late first round. I don't think he'd be early, but he could be a late first round, or where I think he might be right now for sure is every bit of a second round pick. And they can range from the early second round to, the middle of the second round. If a team really just need a quarterback, he could possibly, come off the board.
Yeah, I agree. I think this definitely boosted his Heisman chances. And like you said, that fourth quarter was crazy. I was like you, I turned the game off. But I seen on Instagram when they were coming back, and that's what made me tune back into the game, even though it was already like 1 a.m. by that time. So I seen the last few touchdown drives by Cam Ward, and that was pretty special to watch. I think he's a first-round pick for sure going into next year, but this just boosted it. Go ahead.
My bad. That's another thing too, man. This I ain't really me and you've been talking about this, man, since last year, since they killed the Pac-12 and all these guys start having to go into these different countries. Like, there's no reason that Miami should be on TV that late.
No, that's crazy. If it's 1 a.m. over here, that means it's 2 a.m. over there. All their families are at home trying to watch the game, and they got to stay up till 2 a.m. to try to watch.
Yeah, man.
They got to fix that. I don't know what they can do to fix it. Go ahead.
If it's killing us, bro, I know it's killing these players, because that's why you got teams like USC. I knew it was going to catch up to definitely these West Coast teams, bro, and it's only going to get worse because it's not even cold yet.
Yeah,
really in the Midwest right now, it's still possibly cool. It's like 60s, maybe 70 degrees out there. Real soon, it's going to start dropping, and when you got teams like a USC, Washington, maybe Washington probably might be better acquainted with the cold weather because it gets cold in Washington as well.
Yeah,
and Oregon, but still. You having to go to Minnesota, and Minnesota not no slouch. Minnesota's good. You having to go to Minnesota, which is the coldest state, and it's probably negative 40. That's not even an exaggeration. No. It's probably negative 40. And you have to play on a Saturday. It's not going to work, bro. Or you have to go all the way to Penn State, whiteout game.
Yeah, we're finna see that for USC.
You've never been in a situation like that. It's going to get ugly for a lot of teams because they're having to travel so far, and it's vice versa. You having to travel all the way to the West Coast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's I don't really like how they set up the conferences, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Really like that.
It's a problem, like we talked about before on here, man. It's a problem, and it's we're getting in the conference, so it's going to start showing up more and more. With this, Corey, what do you think about Cam Ward and his performance against Cal, and with his draft stock and with his Heisman stock, how did this help it out?
He found a way to stay unbeaten, so he doesn't rise in draft stock. Cam, he's going to be a first round talent. I don't know what he's drafted, but I'm not really sold on him going to the NFL just yet for me. But I do think he was what Miami needed. He played clutch. The moment went too big, but that time zone different than that, bro. They look tired.
Yeah, they were tired.
They didn't look good. Like it was literally Cam Ward and guys. But that was a good thing. He's gonna be seasoned up there with the house as long as he keep playing like he doing. But he's a good talent, and I think that was a good win for Miami. And like PJ said, I kind of wrote the game out too. So I came back and everybody was like, Miami, Cam Ward, incredible. I'm like, incredible. What did he do? He came back.
Yeah.
But that was more of a team having to come back, and he's displaying his superstar or his courage gene. And it was good for Cam, and I do think it was going to rise the draft stock, and I do think he deserved to go first round. How many games they won last year? Washington State 4.
At Washington State, yeah, they weren't good. Maybe 5, 6, somewhere in there.
So
Maybe.
now we're getting to see him be on TV all the time and get to display his talent. Like I said, I do like Cam Moore. I just know certain things that he does don't translate to the NFL well. That's just me. But I do like Cam. I do think he's going to be a great talent. I'm not so much so on NFL.
Yeah, I'm like you said. I don't think he's definitely an NFL talent in my eyes. But I think the thing that's going to get him drafted more is his mentality. I think he has a winning mentality. I think he's an accurate quarterback, but he doesn't have anything physically wise that just stands out. Doesn't have a big arm. He's not really fast. He's not a big guy, 6'2". So he's got some some things that can translate to the league, but on that time will tell. I'm still not sold on Miami. I'm more sold on Cam Ward than I am on Miami. I think Miami is just kind of picking up wins right now, but do I think they're gonna make any noise in the playoffs? They get to the college football players, they're getting smacked, is what I'm saying. So shout out Cam Ward, but I'm still not a believer in Miami. Kyrell, what do you think about Cam Ward and his performance on Saturday?
That was a good win. I don't know what to. I mean, why are you down? I was high on Miami, to be honest with you. So like when I checked in at halftime, I did what PJ did. I didn't watch the first half. I just kind of checked in at halftime, and I was like, oh well, I'm not going to talk about that no more. But turns out, he came back and it's he gonna shoot up the Heisman board. But outside of that, man, I'm not really impressed, bro. Like, why are you down to Cal? I thought Cam Ward was gonna be for me at least, he was a top 3 quarterback. As far as him shooting up the Heisman ladder, it don't matter. Like, it's a 2-man race at this point. We got Travis and the Frisco Lone Star product in Boise State. Travis gonna kill, man.
Yeah, dude.
He went to Frisco Lone Star.
Yeah. He came. He came out of Lone Star, bro. Yeah, he a dog. The dude at Boise State a dog. We don't have time to talk about him today, but definitely throughout the week I want to, because what he's doing is ridiculous. Now we've been. Yeah, go ahead.
He has double yards at this point than Derrick Henry, Reggie Bush, and one other back.
Now
double.
He is a dog. Now my only disagreement with you in the group message has been you saying he's better than some of these guys, because he got double their yards, but he playing against me and you out there. Derrick Henry was playing and Reggie Bush was playing against NFL guys. So that's my only pushback on him, but I ain't gonna take nothing away from him because the dude is a monster. I think he's still gonna be a monster when he goes to the league. But he is playing Utah State, so we can't take it too far. He's out, come on, man. He's playing Navarro football right now. We can't take it too far.
Oregon too.
I'm expecting him to do it against Oregon. I'm not saying he's sorry, but we can't just go on the stats like, man, he would do that to everybody, and especially Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry playing in SEC. I mean, he would be a dog if he was in SEC, but I'm not going to take it that far saying he's just one of the best ever and all this kind of stuff. But that's debate for another day. And we were going to go on to the 49ers and talk about how bad the football they've been playing recently, but we're running out of time and we got to get to this game tonight. So, Quay, you got spared for today on talking about your team. But we're going to be talking about them later throughout the week, and we're going to have you all talking about the Niners. But
Be cool.
Like I said, the Niners, they've had their struggles, but the one thing they can say is that their best player has been hurt. Now, I got some question marks about Brock Purdy, but I don't really think it's Brock Purdy's fault in this. And in yesterday's game, before I go to the game, the New Orleans versus Chiefs game, I will say this. Everyone kind of wrote off Kyler Murray over the last couple of years as far as him not being a talent. This dude is still a talent. He was drafted number 1 overall for a reason. Like I always say, the best Texas high school football player of all time, in my opinion, is Kyler Murray. And Kyler Murray is still that dude. He has the swagger of a player that still, he knows he's the best player on their offense, and he knows we're only going to be good whenever I'm the best player. And he plays like it. He has that type of swagger that you see from a Lamar from a Josh Allen that we're only going to make plays if I make plays. You know, quarterbacks, even other quarterbacks in this league that are considered good or that win, they don't have that. I don't think that from Jared Goff. I don't think Jared Goff goes out there like, we're only going to be good if I'm good. No, he's got all these people out here. He knows if I'm just decent, we'll be good. I don't get that from Dak. Like, we're only going to be good if I'm good. I don't get that from some of these other quarterbacks. Kyler Murray has that swagger. Like, he knows I'm the best dude on this field whenever I got the ball in my hands. And shout out Kyler Murray getting that dub over the Niners yesterday. But I want to go to the game tonight, fellas, before we get out of here. New Orleans versus Kansas City. New Orleans, well, like we talked about, they started out as world beaters, and they've fallen off slightly the last couple weeks. I still think they're a good team. I still think they got a chance to win their division. Tonight they got a different beast, though. They got Kansas City tonight. Kansas City still trying to answer questions without Rashee Rice, without Hollywood Brown out there. Still got Kelsey. Juju Smith-Schuster is probably going to step up and get some more targets. But I think they need another option out there at receiver for them to be successful. But tonight in this game, right now, Kansas City is a 5-point favorite. I'm tempted to take those points from New Orleans. I don't know if New Orleans is going to win, but I don't see Kansas City's barely beat anybody by 5 points. What would just make me think that they're going to do the Saints bad? So I'll probably take the Saints +5 in this game, but I think Kansas City is going to win this game. Patrick Mahomes, they've gone back-to-back Super Bowls. I'm the one that came out and said before the season started, I don't think they're three-peating. That doesn't mean I think they're going to fall off or they're going to be sorry. I just don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl. Now, can they prove me wrong? Yes, they got the best player in the league. They got the best coach in the league. They got the best organization in the league. They got the best defensive coordinator probably in the league. They got probably the best pass rusher in the league with Chris Jones. They got the best tight end in the league with Travis Kelce. So could they prove me wrong? Of course. Would I be shocked if Kansas City wins the Super Bowl still? Not even a little bit. I wouldn't be shocked. But I just don't think they're winning the Super Bowl. But that don't have anything to do with tonight. Kansas City's probably going to win tonight, and they're at home. But I'm still taking New Orleans +5 on this one. Kyrie, we'll go right back to you, man. What do you think is going to happen in this game, New Orleans versus Kansas City?
Man, I don't know. I really don't. How is the Chiefs' offense going to look without Rashee Rice? Even with Kelsey on the field, Rashee Rice was their number one receiver.
Yeah.
On the other hand, the Saints, despite what they get against the Cowboys, they haven't looked like that since.
Yeah.
You know? So this is the mystery of the NFL I was talking about earlier. Like, I have no idea what these teams is going to play. All I know is the Chiefs' defense is good. And that's it. I don't know, man. I'm stressing right now. That's why y'all hear me exasperated, because I'm stressed. I'm trying to get these lineups in, 15 minutes to go. But I don't know what to do, man.
You think you should take the under 43.5?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards the under, man. I don't think these offenses is going to be able to move the ball. You got Marshawn and Tyrann Mathieu bracketing, one side of the field. And then, I mean, you going to rely on Xavier Worthy? He ain't caught more than 3 passes in a game. He could explode or he could not. Pause. But I'm not trying to. I don't know who to go with, man. I'm thinking I'm gonna go take the under on the points. I think if you're on DraftKings, man, I'm probably gonna go with the kickers. Maybe we get a Kareem Hunt sighting. Maybe he takes a blast from the pass. Man, pause. But
this is getting crazy.
Yeah. Go to PJ, man.
It's getting crazy. We'll just cut you out on that. But I agree as far as I'll probably take the under in this one too. I stayed away from the spread on this game, even though I said take New Orleans +5. I'm not positive about the under because this one could go either one. But I will be more comfortable taking the under on that game. I got the kicker in one of my parlays too, so yeah, I like the kickers in this game. Quay, what do you think about New Orleans versus Kansas City game coming on in about 20 minutes?
I'm going to just go with Kansas City just because they have been doing it a little bit longer as far as together as a team. But it's actually a good matchup, though.
It is.
I think they're going to play a great game. I think it comes down to the last possession. Like you said, the point spread 5. I think it comes down to the last possession and one. And Kansas City give it to Pat Mahomes. He going to win it in the end. So I'm gonna take the Chiefs.
Yep. Yeah. Like I said, I got Chiefs. If we're going money line, I'll take the Chiefs money line. I got New Orleans on the +5 though. PJ, what do you think about this game tonight, Monday night? Coming on in about 20 minutes. New Orleans versus Kansas City.
As bad as I want the Saints to win the game, I don't think we're really gonna win tonight. We can play them pretty close. I got the Chiefs winning. The Chiefs, you know, it's just kind of hard, man, because it seems like anytime they lose somebody, they replace them. But they steady replace people with guys who really, to be honest, I don't want to say they're less than, but they're not stars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And for some reason, you know, it just works for them. It's just for the Patriots back then, you know, they weren't necessarily going to go get stars. They just get guys that just, you know, come into the team and play their role.
Facts.
And that's honestly the way to play winning football, if you really want to be honest. Like, you know, I feel like that's how you play winning football. That's how you stay consistent. And that's why you see that right now, I mean, they're the most consistent team in the league in the last, maybe six years, I would say.
Yeah.
They're the most complete team, the most consistent team. They just kind of, man, they got to figure it out. Patrick Mahomes is going to be Patrick Mahomes. I'm really liking what Xavier Worthy doing. He's and that kid there, bro. I honestly don't know how you can really guard him one-on-one. He's so fast.
Yeah, he's too fast.
He's so fast, bro. He's too fast for guys, man. You really gotta keep a safety over the top for him because he's moving fast. And the crazy part about it, like I think I've seen him make a touchdown last week where it was like he was running fast, bro, but we all seen him running faster than that. So in reality, he's kind of jogging. It's similar to when Tyreek Hill first came into the league, and even now Tyreek Hill still does it. But you know, when he first came into the league and was really making his name, it's similar to that. I don't know how the Chiefs are doing this, man. They keep getting these guys. People keep on letting them get these guys. It's just hard to compete against them. But I mean, with the Saints, if they were to go in and win this game right here, that'd be really good for them because the NFC South right now is wide open. Definitely with you know, the Bucks and the Falcons, definitely with the Falcons winning, you know, that really just opened up that whole division outside of the Panthers. Everybody pretty much got the same record. Both the Falcons and the Buccaneers are 3-2 right now. The Saints are 2-2. So if they were to win tonight, they'd be 3-2. So I know this is kind of a motivation for them, definitely seeing how the Falcons won and with Kirk Cousins having 509 passing yards and winning the way they did. I'm sure that's a motivation for them to go into tonight and really try to, you know, take this game very serious and try to get that win. I still don't think it'll be enough, but it wouldn't surprise me if they were to somehow come out with the win. Like I say, the league right now is just it's very surprising each week. You really can't say who's going to win the game because it's been upset throughout the entire season so far.
Yeah, this is one of the more up and down seasons. I mean, the only consistent has been the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, obviously Minnesota's 5-0 too, but it's almost like everyone's just kind of waiting on them to lose because we know that they're not going to be one of those teams at the very end. At least we think right now that they're not. But outside of that, man, the league is just crazy. I mean, Kirk Cousins threw for 500 yards. We ain't talk about that tonight, but we're going to talk about it tomorrow on the show. Kirk Cousins threw for 500 yards. Like, we didn't expect that. So if New Orleans came out here and got a win, it would be tough. But I wouldn't just be shocked. Only reason I'm picking the Chiefs is really because it's at home. If this was in New Orleans, I might take New Orleans in this game just because I don't know how the Kansas City Chiefs are going to respond without having that receiver. So only time will tell, folks. But that's going to do it for us here today. I want to thank everybody for tuning in with us. Thanks to all the guests we had on here today, PJ, Kyrell, and Quay. Appreciate y'all for jumping on here with me today. Tomorrow, we're going to be back at 5 o'clock, folks. So everybody get ready for that. We didn't get to touch all the NFL teams today. We still got to talk about the Niners. Still got to talk about Kirk Cousins throwing for 500 yards. Still got to talk about my Houston Texans moving to 4-1. On Tuesdays and Wednesdays, y'all notice when I do my power rankings, top 5 teams in the league, I told y'all the Texans was going to beat the Bills. I put the hat on today because of that. They got to move up in my top 5 rankings, but y'all will hear that tomorrow. We're going to do top 5 rankings. We're going to talk about some more of these teams. going to talk about some more of these college games as well, and then look forward to the games for the rest of this week as well. So make sure you tune in tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Go to Centex Sports Network on YouTube. Go to Centex Sports TV on YouTube so you can watch this. Download the app Centex Sports 1 on the Google Play Store or on the Apple Store. You can go on there and download it and listen to this on Infinity Sports Radio, Central Texas. But like I said, guys, I want to thank you for tuning in with us. We'll be back tomorrow at 5. We will see you guys then. Everybody have a good night and watch the rest of this Monday Night Football game.
Texas home for sports. It's Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports. Catch all your in-depth sports analysis with the best. The hottest sports show in the evening is Centex Primetime, hosted by Jalen Gillis.
Act like y'all.
Weekdays 5 to 7. This is the Central Texas #1 leader in sports. Centex Sports Network.
That's right, sports fans. We can talk about sports.